Hi, this is Lara at Elliott Wave Gold with your daily analysis for Thursday 6th of February. I'm recording the video 3:40 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Thursday the 6th. I was expecting a bit of downwards movement to complete a second wave correction. Price did move lower. It shot up a little bit higher first. I expect that second wave correction is now over and we should be starting a third wave up. The target is 1297 for the third wave to end. It should show an increase in upwards momentum, and that target may be about 4 days away. Let's have a look at some charts. The daily chart remains the same. The bigger picture still expects that primary wave 4 was not over here as a single zigzag lasting only 9 weeks, because primary wave 2 lasted 53 weeks. Primary 4 is likely to be reasonably in proportion, so overall the whole wave count at the weekly chart level should have what we call the right look, and it's the proportion between second and fourth waves which is a big part of that. Primary 2 was a flat, so primary 4 is unlikely to be a flat because it should show structural alternation with primary 2. Primary 4 can't be a zigzag because the first wave within it subdivides as a 3, not a 5. Within a zigzag, the first wave must be a 5. So primary 4 is either a double zigzag or a double combination. And it's most likely to be a double combination because the 3 in the opposite direction, this zigzag here, labelled intermediate wave X, is very deep. It's a 99% correction of the first upward zigzag labelled intermediate wave W. Within double zigzags, the X waves are usually shallow. Within double combinations, the X waves are usually deep. So that means that the structure of the next upwards movement is most likely to be a flat correction. It may also be a triangle, and for both of those structures, the first wave up is most likely to subdivide as a zigzag, and that looks like that is what is happening. This first upward movement here is a very clear 5. This is a leading contracting diagonal for an A wave. We have a complete 3 in the opposite direction. This is a contracting triangle for a B wave, and this is where the C wave of the zigzag begins. At 1330, it would reach equality in length with minute wave A. Draw a parallel channel around this upwards movement on the daily chart and copy it over to the hourly chart. Draw the first trend line from the start of A to the end of B on this candle here. Place a parallel copy on the end of A. Along the way up, downward movement should find support at the lower edge of the channel, and that looks like that's what's happening. And I'd expect upwards movement to end around the upper edge of the channel. The whole structure for intermediate wave Y should end about the same level as intermediate wave W, about 1434, because the purpose of double combinations is to take up time and move price sideways. So the second structure in the double usually ends around about the same level as the first. Primary wave 4 may not move into primary wave 1 price territory above 1532.90. Let's have a look at the start of minute wave C on the hourly chart, where it begins here. This point here, we have a 5-wave structure up, and now the zigzag down is complete. It has a slightly truncated C wave. It's slightly failed to move beyond the end of the A wave, but the structure's correct, and I expect it was the lower edge of that parallel channel which may have forced a truncation. This is probably where the third wave begins, and because this movement here shows as a red doji on the daily chart, I have moved the degree of labelling within this movement all up 1 degree today. I would not expect a sub-minuet correction to show on the daily chart, but I would expect a minuet wave degree correction for a second wave to show on the daily chart. It makes absolutely no difference to the invalidation point or the targets at this stage. I would expect to see an increase in upwards momentum because I'm expecting to see a third wave unfold. It must make a new price extreme beyond the end of the first wave, and at 1297 it would reach 1.618, the length of the first wave. When third waves extend, they show their subdivisions clearly, so within minuet wave 3, we may see sub-minuet waves 2 and 4 may show up on the daily chart. They should certainly be very clear on the hourly chart. So that might make minuet wave 3 quite a time-consuming structure, which means that it might last around about 4 days. It could be a little briefer than that, but at this stage I'd expect it to last about 4 days. At this stage, if this second wave correction continues further, and I will allow for that possibility because we have this truncation here, if that happens, it can't move beyond the start of the first wave below 1247.40. At the daily chart level, it's also possible that primary wave 4 is a big contracting or barrier triangle, and that would see it have perfect structural alternation with the flat of primary 2. The structure of the expected upwards movement, invalidation points and targets for the short to mid-term is exactly the same for this alternate idea. It does not diverge at all from the main wave count at this stage. That's all for me today with your gold analysis, and I hope that all our members are having a fabulous day.